Welcome to Blue Marble Geographics Ask the Experts. I'm Rachel Landry, and this is Jeff Hatzel, a product manager here at Blue Marble. Today, Jeff will be showing us how to use GeoCalc Online in the field. So Jeff, take it away.
Sure, Rachel. So let's go ahead and we're going to take a look at GeoCalc Online on a mobile device. You and I have talked about GeoCalc Online before in a previous Ask the Expert section, and I've gone into some more depth during our GeoTalks conference earlier in the year. So if any of our users haven't watched those videos, I'd encourage them to go ahead and do so.
Jeff, can you also give us a quick recap of what GeoCalc Online is for those people who haven't watched the videos?
Oh, sure, Rachel. So GeoCalc Online is a web service we've hosted for several years now. We've recently put up a second, major update to that tool. So at its core, GeoCalc Online is a database of all of our geodetic definitions, and that ties into the majority of our products. It provides our users a search portal to search through the entirety of our data source, along with ways to share results that they may have searched and found. It has a brand new point-to-point calculator tool as well. So what we're going to look at now is how to use this new version of the site with its adapted mobile browser so that users can accomplish work out in the field. And so what I'm sharing now is GeoCalc Online on my personal mobile device. I happen to be on an iPhone. So if you're familiar with the desktop site, or you have seen it in some of our other videos and marketing material, you'll recognize generally the same page and same layout here, just with a UI adapted for a phone or other mobile device. So let's take a look at some of the other pages and what they're looking like now on mobile before we dive into our workflow here. So the menu on the upper right of our web page now replaces what we would see as the menu bar on desktop. You might notice here that search has been broken into two sections. So the same functionality as desktop, but just that since we have limited display space on a mobile screen, you can choose either your map search or to use the filtered search. That same formatting idea has been applied to the point-to-point calculator tool here as well. So we'll see that the tool is much easier to scroll through and work with.
Now, Jeff, is there a specific kind of mobile device that users would have to use GeoCalc Online?
So that's a great question. The short answer to that is no. The tool should be fairly device and browser agnostic, whether we're talking iOS or Android, and it should work on a variety of all the popular mobile web browsers. So I happen to be showing Safari today, but Chrome, Firefox, etc., those should all work fine. You might notice if you're working on a tablet that you get the desktop version of the site. And that's just going to depend on your settings. So if your device is set to request the desktop version of a site, GeoCalc Online should respond to that. You can always use the button on the bottom right of any of the page windows to switch to mobile view if you want it. Okay, so let's go ahead. Today we're going to talk about updating some old survey control points while out in the field. And so in this scenario, our company has been asked to update old survey markers on a newly acquired property. The issue being here is that these markers haven't been well maintained, the land isn't cleared or anything like that, and we need to navigate to those points. Furthermore, I happen to have a GNS unit with me, but that unit only outputs in latitude and longitude WGS84. Of course, the only information I have from my original survey of this point is the old state plane 27 system, so those coordinates aren't going to match up. What we're going to do then is use GeoCalc Online to convert that old state plane 27 points to WGS84, which is commonly used for most of our GNSS units, so that as I'm navigating in the field and approach this location, I'll have a better idea of where I am. So I'll start here in the search tool on GeoCalc Online. And the first thing I'm going to do is search for the EPSG code for my source system. This just happens to be NAD27 State Plane, Oklahoma North. And I'm going to set this as my source in my converter. Then what I'll do is, again, similar search. Most of you will probably recognize this EPSG code as WGS84. And so again, I'll set that as now my target because that's what I'll be converting to. And once I've set both of those, I can switch right over to the point-to-point calculator tool here, and we'll see the respective systems have populated the source and the target coordinate reference system options in the tool. So as I enter my source points, these again are the projected northings and eastings in that state plane system. And I can then choose the transformation that I need. And so if I'm ever unsure here when I'm in the transformation picker, or if I'm manually picking a coordinate reference system, I can use this info button here to view whatever definitions information that I need. So once that's set, I can go ahead and calculate this point. And then now I'll have that new output coordinate I need referenced to WGS84 as I'm working in the field and navigating to that location. And so we do have one more thing that we need to update today. So there's a second point associated with this first survey control. However, for the second point, I don't have any coordinates. What I do know, though, is that this point is about 2,500 feet, so a little less than a half mile from this control point that I just found, and it's due east. So given that I have a distance and a bearing from my known points, I can use the forward operation in the point-to-point calculator. So I'll go ahead and enter these source coordinates that I just calculated, and now presumably where I'm standing in the field. And, yes, you might be more comfortable here working in projected units. We're moving linear distance on the ground. But since I'm working with a GNSS device today that's outputting latitude, longitude, for consistency, I want to stay in those units. And so now we'll see, once I have this calculated, my output here should tell me my new coordinate of where I need to go. Mostly we'll see a change in longitude here, right? Because I'm only moving due east, not moving much north-south at all. And so this is just, another great way to give myself, or users can give themselves some more geospatial awareness while out in the field with GeoCalc Online. To wrap that up a little bit, I think that the mobile-friendly nature of GeoCalc Online provides us with great access to all of the data source and associated functionality that GeoCalc Online offers, along with all the transformation tools as well. And I think, Rachel, I was thinking while I was working through this before we talked today, if you'll have me back again on Ask the Experts, I think the next time I'd like to discuss how we can use GeoCalc Online right alongside Global Mapper Mobile. So, maybe we're recording some data in the field. I want to save that data and work with it back in the office in Global Mapper later on.
Great. Well, I will definitely consider having you back on Ask the Experts. So that was a great workflow. Thank you so much for showing us that. And Jeff, can you remind us how users can currently access GeoCalc Online?
Sure. That's a great question. So GeoCalc Online, currently anybody can go and visit that website. It is, again, just geocalconline.com. If you are one of our geographic calculator users and you already have an active geographic calculator order, you will have full access to the site. So that includes the point-to-point calculator that we showed just a little bit earlier here. If you don't have a geographic calculator order, you can sign up for a free trial to GeoCalc Online, log into the site with your Blue Marble website account, and then request a trial. So pretty easy and pretty straightforward.
Well, as Jeff said, if you have questions about GeoCalc Online, be sure to visit geocalconline.com. And if you want to ask more in-depth questions, please feel free to email our sales team at sales@bluemarblegeo.com. But thank you, as always, for joining us for Ask the Experts here at Blue Marble, and be sure to stay tuned for our next episode.